Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Red Riding Hood. She always wore a red hooded cloak, which is why everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One sunny morning, her mother asked her to visit her grandmother, who lived in a cottage deep in the forest. "Take this basket of goodies to Grandma, and remember, don't talk to strangers," her mother warned. Little Red Riding Hood promised to be careful and started walking down the forest path. The trees were tall and the birds were singing, but she didn't mind. She was excited to see her grandmother. As she walked along, she met a sly wolf. The wolf had a wicked smile and asked, "Where are you going, little girl?" Little Red Riding Hood, forgetting her mother's warning, replied, "I'm going to my grandmother's house in the woods." The wolf grinned and thought, "I'll get to Grandma first and make a plan to trick Little Red Riding Hood." The wolf quickly ran ahead through the forest. He reached Grandma's house, knocked on the door, and when Grandma opened it, he locked her in the closet. Then, he dressed in Grandma's nightgown and climbed into her bed, pretending to be her. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived, she noticed the door was open. "Grandma," she called, but there was no answer. She walked inside and found the strange figure in bed. "Grandma, what big ears you have," Little Red Riding Hood said, stepping closer. "The better to hear you with, my dear," the wolf replied in a gruff voice. "Grandma, what big eyes you have," Little Red Riding Hood said, still not understanding. "The better to see you with, my dear," said the wolf, grinning. "Grandma, what big teeth you have," Little Red Riding Hood exclaimed. "The better to eat you with," the wolf growled, jumping out of bed with his sharp teeth bared. But Little Red Riding Hood was quick and brave. She grabbed the basket of goodies and threw it at the wolf. As he stumbled back, she ran out of the house, yelling for help. Luckily, a hunter was nearby. He heard her cries and ran to the cottage. With one swing of his axe, the hunter scared the wolf away. He opened the closet and let Grandma out safe and sound. "Thank you, kind hunter," Little Red Riding Hood said, hugging him. Grandma smiled and said, "You were very brave, my dear." From that day on, Little Red Riding Hood always remembered to be careful and never talk to strangers. She visited her grandmother often, but always made sure to stay on the safe path. And they all lived happily ever after.